Welcome to the FWA review. I'm with Steve Bates, former FWA chairman. We're at the Radisson in Manchester. The morning after the night before, it was the Northwest Managers Awards dinner. We had Pep Guardiola here last night. Gave a nice speech, Steve. And,
He did, yeah.
It was a good do, wasn't it? I mean, he was obviously in a relaxed mood. City had just won 6-1.
Yeah.
That man, Raheem Sterling, man of the match performance, 2 goals. And everything seems to be quite rosy in Pep's garden, doesn't it?
Yeah, all in his world is well, and you could tell last night he was quite relaxed. His team just won 6-1, so obviously that would have put him in a good mood. But he demands a lot from his players, so he wasn't going overboard about the result last night in any way whatsoever. It was just kind of him wanting his team to deliver what he knows they're capable of.
And they look awesome this year. They look like they're on course to retain that title, which is a pretty difficult task, isn't it? Only twice, I think, in the Premier League history that someone's actually defended their title.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not been done since Manchester United did it, I think, more than a decade ago. But obviously, Chelsea are trying to keep pace with them as well. They had a good win yesterday. Liverpool obviously shared the spoils with Arsenal on Saturday evening. But I think my money would be on City to actually win the title at the end of the season. Yeah, because I think they're pretty much now in a real groove, and you just can't see anybody beating them. Maybe a Liverpool at Anfield. I know they've got the Manchester derby at the end of this week after they play Shakhtar Donetsk in Europe. But even then, I think there'll be an element of wanting some revenge after United spoiled their sort of title party at the end of the season in April.
Yeah.
When they could have wrapped up the title, and United came from 2 down to win 3-2. So I'm absolutely certain they'll be focused on making sure they put that right.
And United, I was at Bournemouth this weekend. United took a battering in the first half, but ended up winning the game. They turned it around, and they had to win that one, didn't they?
Yes, absolutely. They kind of start like chumps and end like champions, don't they? Really. I'm not sure they'll get away with that kind of a lacklustre performance in the first half hour against Manchester City. I think if they played like they did at Bournemouth in the first 20 minutes, half hour, there'll be 3 or 4 goals down at Manchester City at the weekend. So that's something that they need to address. But it's a big week for United. They're obviously playing Juventus in the Champions League in Italy this week, which will be a heck of a tough task given the way that Juventus performed so expertly at Old Trafford a couple of weeks ago.
And talking of United, their old boy, Wayne Rooney, is top story here. It's caused a bit of divided opinion, perhaps. He's going to make a farewell sort of comeback in international football for England.
Yeah.
Some people are not happy with it. Some people are saying, well, it's a nice gesture.
Yeah. Well, listen, there's been outrage. I think the FA can't really win on this one, can they? There was always going to be an element of some people would think it cheapens and devalues an England cap. It's almost like a celebrity cap, isn't it, in a way? His career's obviously been over 2 years now with England. But, the FA think that this is the perfect time to honour him. He didn't probably get because his career with England ended quite abruptly a couple of years ago. There was no kind of appreciation of his career with England, and the fact, of course, that he's England's all-time record goal scorer. That was recognised at the time. But the FA believed that this is the perfect opportunity, playing the USA, where he obviously now plays his football, to give him a proper send-off. Obviously, the outrage from some people is that it devalues the England cap situation. And obviously, he's not got a future with England beyond this game. People looking at this as perhaps a publicity stunt, but I think it's a nice gesture by the FA, and I don't think it really is going to impact too strongly on England going forward. I mean, people are saying, giving Rooney a cap, takes away perhaps a cap for a James Maddison, or the up-and-coming players that
or even Callum Wilson,
or up-and-coming players we saw in the last squads for the Croatian and Spain games, but. Listen, I think given Rooney's service to his country and the fact that this is a friendly game at Wembley against the USA, listen, I wouldn't sort of get too tied up in knots about it. But of course, whenever things like this happen, everybody has an opinion on it.
Yeah. Well, Ollie Kay in the Times series saying exactly that.
I agree with Ollie on that. It's a good piece.
And they also point out, there's a few other leading players, Podolski, Ronaldo, Wesley Sneijder. They've all sort of had those farewell games. So it's not unheard of in football, is it?
It isn't, no. And, obviously, Gareth, I'm certain, would not have done it in a competitive match.
Yeah.
He's doing it in a friendly at Wembley, and it'll be an ideal opportunity for people to properly say a farewell to Wayne Rooney, who, after all, is England's record goal scorer. It'll be his 120th cap. He's nowhere near, 5 games off kind of matching Peter Shilton, so that was never going to be an issue that he might have drawn level with Shilton. So listen, I think on the night it'll be a nice occasion for Rooney, and it's just a storm in a teacup, really.
Yeah, and of course Harry Kane scored again at the weekend. Maybe Rooney thinks that record's going to be broken sooner rather than later. Wants to get a couple more goals to keep Harry at bay.
Listen, Harry's got a lot of games ahead of him, and I'm sure he'll be eyeing Wayne's record. So let's see on that one.
Now, we can't leave without talking about last night, because there was a lovely tribute to David Meek, your father-in-law, but a fixture on the scene, been Manchester United's correspondent for donkey's years, really, on the Manchester Evening News, and close confidant of Alex Ferguson and other managers, and obviously, as everyone pointed out last night, he's part of the fabric at Manchester United. And there was a lovely filmed tribute, and obviously a lot of people in the room were talking about David, weren't they?
Yeah, they were, and there's been a welter of lovely words and tributes written and said about him. As you say, Gerry, he had a 37-year career on the Manchester Evening News. Back in the day, really, when there was no internet, there was no rolling Sky 24-hour news. Most people got their fix of Manchester United, if you like, from the local paper, which was the Manchester Evening News. He had a unique relationship with all the managers there, from Matt Busby, because he took over in the aftermath of the Munich air crash, right the way through to Alex Ferguson's final days. And even when David had finished actually on the Manchester Evening News back in '95, he still continued to do Alex Ferguson's programme notes right up until 2013, when Alex Ferguson retired.
So a lovely sort of send-off for David as well.
It was,
last
yeah,
night.
he would have appreciated it for sure.
Fantastic. Good. Well, thanks for that, Steve.
Cheers.
Another FWA review. Keep coming back next week. We'll be talking after the Manchester derby and see how that one panned out.